I'm Max, and this is the second episode of Maxx90 DadBod Abs for the Busy Man. So to get straight into it, we're continuing on from the top 15 tips for burning body fat. We're on the tip number 10 now, which is train with don't worry about my writing, to train with weights. So if you remember from the last video, tip number 11 was to do cardio and walking. Above that on the list now we have number 10 is train with weights. Now I plan to get into the science of why weightlifting will burn far more calories and burns far more fat than cardio. But for now, if you were to match two people, one person does 4 sessions of cardio a week, one person does 4 sessions of weightlifting per week, and everything else equal, the person doing the weightlifting will burn more body fat. And there's so many scientific reasons for that. I'm going to do a separate video on that there. But there's a massive misunderstanding out there. I was the exact same for years. I believed that to burn fat you need to do cardio, you need to go out running. And now I realise that was all wrong. And the way to burn body fat, the best way to burn body fat is through weightlifting. So tip number 10 is to train with weights. Tip number 9 is to consume adequate, spelled wrong, to consume adequate protein. So you have your 3 main nutrients, your macronutrients, proteins, carbs and fats. Protein is the building blocks for the body. So protein is what builds every cell in your body. It also has so many other advantages, and it's the one nutrient that most of us under consume. And so we live in a very carb full society. Carbs are so easily consumed, very readily available, whereas protein on the other hand, the 3 main sources of protein is meat, fish and eggs. They all require cooking, whereas so many carbs and sugars can simply be lifted out of a packet and consumed, leaving most of us eating a high carb diet and lower in proteins. The best way to burn fat is have an adequate amount of protein, a balanced amount of protein, which for most people will mean increasing then the amount of protein they eat. And there's so many reasons. Again, we'll get into the science of it in other videos of why protein helps the body burn fat. So number 9, protein. Number 8, is to eat more often and balanced. One of the big issues with people struggling to burn body fat is one I find very common: don't eat breakfast. Eat 1 to 2 meals a day. You want to be eating more often per day. You want to be eating a lot more food. So but 95% of my clients don't eat near as much food as they need to eat to burn body fat. I know this is the part most of my clients struggle with to understand, but the majority of people are under eating, and that's why they struggle to lose body fat. So you need to eat more often and balanced. Balanced means equal amount of proteins and carbs with also a certain amount of fats. That's the balanced diet. Don't do the ridiculous 0 carb diets or high protein diets or anything like that. For the best results, for a balanced body, you need to eat a balanced diet. Number 7 is learn about food and how to cook. So number 7, learn about food and how to cook. Learn the basics of food, learn which foods are high in protein, which foods are high in carbohydrates, and which foods are high in your healthy fats and your unhealthy fats. It's very easy done. There's so much information out there. Any of the clients in Maxx90, we have the Maxx90 Academy on our website, where there's all the information to learn. So if you can learn about food, then you don't have to follow meal plans. You can decide which foods to eat, and you know that you're eating the correct foods. So one of the main things about burning fat is you have to know about the food you're eating. The other thing is learn how to cook. This has so many advantages. If you know how to cook nice food, you don't have to rely on takeaways. If you have a certain goal, whether it's burning fat or building muscle, there's a certain amount of each types of food and nutrients you need to eat. Nobody else is going to cook that for you except yourself. Your mummy's not going to cook it. Your wife's not really interested in getting your amounts of protein right and your carbs right, unless you're actually training with your wife or your partner or whoever. So the main thing is learn to cook for yourself, and that way you'll be able to sustain a lifelong journey of body transformation. And finally, tip number 6 is consume sugars around training. So this is the perfect time. If you have a sugary tooth and you like eating sweets, eat them around training. Eat them just before training, eat them during training, or eat them after training. This is the time when your body is crying out for energy, trying to refill its glycogen stores. It's the perfect time to eat a high sugar sweets or treats, which will also then get rid of your cravings for them. So the good time for the sweets around training, bad time sitting on the couch on a Friday or Saturday night watching TV, eating a big bag of sweets. That's when you're going to be turned to body fat. Whereas around training, it's going to give you plenty of energy that you can lift heavier weights and train harder. So there's us up to tip number 6. Stay tuned for the last video in this series, or in this part, for our top 5 tips on how to burn body fat.